Hey guys, this is my third video blog, and this one is about my salient social identities. Um, I think my three of my salient social identities would be socioeconomic, religion, and then national origin. And I think the reason I chose those is because I think those have the most effect on the decisions I make and the opportunities I'm afforded. Um, more so on the decisions I make would be religion. And I think, that's just one of those things that's a challenge for me to think about. And so, thinking about different things with religion and trying to understand my perspective on religion is the biggest thing. And then also understanding why other people um, choose certain religions or practice certain parts of some religions and then not certain parts of the same religion, things like that. And then where I fit into place in that thinking and where I should be and the thoughts I should have on religion. Whether I should it doesn't matter if I'm religious. If I'm not religious, I certainly want to respect everyone else's religion because it's important to people. Some people that's what they live for. And so I always want to be respectful because what if I were in that place? And also, whatever I choose, I want people to be respectful of that as well. And I don't care as much as the next person because, religion doesn't play that big of a role in my daily life. But, understanding, religion certainly helps people decide what's right and wrong and what's the meaning of life. And not that you have to have religion to know right and wrong. That's certainly false. But a lot of people do base a lot of their opinions on right and wrong on their religion. And so, I have to say, well, one religion says this is wrong, but is this really wrong? It's to me, it seems the same as trusting your government to tell you what's right and wrong. You could go with extreme examples of slavery, and some people in the government were all for it, and that's certainly not right. So I think it's the same in religion, and there are a lot of great things about religion as well. So I think just that thinking and that struggle makes a big part of my identity. And then I guess next would be socioeconomic. I think a lot of opportunities have been afforded to me because of my socioeconomic level. I would consider myself definitely middle class. I think the way my parents view themselves as being upper middle, but I think that's more of just a way of going about life. They like to see my father works very hard and he's proud of his work, and so I think he likes to look at as that we are in that level, and we can be in that level, and I think it's more of a mindset. Now, numbers wise, I wouldn't know that. I don't know that we would necessarily be in that upper level. And we certainly haven't always been there. And there have been plenty of ups and downs. And so I think that's one big thing. I think it's the one that's been most challenged in my life. And so, especially when my father lost his job and we had to live with my grandparents. And so there was a lot during that time where we couldn't buy anything and things like that. Yet I've always been able to stay in a suburban school and all those things. So all those great opportunities afforded by the middle class, we've always been able to afford to the middle class. We've always been able to maintain those. And I think that's a big thing. Because those are some of the most important parts of socioeconomic classes, the education you can get, and the way people treat you. And so I've always been able to stay in that level so that I am treated as such. Whether that's right or wrong, has nothing to do with it. But there's certainly a certain treatment you get when you are in different socioeconomic classes. And then my third would be national origin. One reason would be I'm in ROTC. Obviously, if I wasn't an American, I wouldn't be doing ROTC for the United States Army. So that plays a big role. But then also, there's so many opportunities in America that people around the world don't get, and I think that's one of the big things is if you think about being born somewhere else and then you get born in America, it just kind of you're lucky for it. And then so that's just one of those things where I'm lucky and I've been blessed that way, and it could have turned out very differently. And then so some activities that have helped illuminate my salient social identities. I don't know that it's necessarily helped my salient social identities, but it's helped me get a grasp on the others. But more of by way of everyone else being able to see what their salient identities are, and thinking more about theirs rather than mine, and wanting to know more stories about what makes that their salient identity. I think that's been a big thing in class with the activities is wanting to know more about other people, because I feel like there's a lot of interesting things that I could learn, and so that's what has been big. It hasn't necessarily, I don't know that my identities have necessarily changed or been illuminated too much more so far, but I think I've broadened my range of understanding of all of them, and I think I'll skip down to the third prompt, and I think religion is going to be a big one that I'm excited to learn about, and because we have a good diversity in the classroom, I think that's what's going to have the most feelings and the most the most that we can get out of dialogue. I think people have stories, certainly from the tone that we've had so far. There's gonna be those stories, and I think that's gonna be interesting. That's gonna be a nice way for me to learn and have a greater understanding. So I'm definitely excited about that, and hopefully we can explain deeper, and I'm sure we will, especially as people start talking today. Um, I think that'll be a good chance to explore those. So I'm looking forward to this class, and hopefully I will learn a lot more about my identities.